Hello. Let me move this a little bit. So as you can see, I can show off my new background that I have for this. I got I designed it and then had it printed from an Etsy shop online. But yeah, I have a new background for this. It should contrast a little better with the sculpting color because it's like a weird beige color. But I was pretty happy with it. And I just have a thin, like transparent film thing that I have laying over top of it, so it should be easy enough to clean up. But yeah, so I have a new little background for this. So we are going to be finishing up our little squonk. I went ahead and did a base coat brown for him. There wasn't, I was looking back over it, there wasn't really a color description, so I'm kind of on my own for the colors here. I don't really have much to base it off of. But I'm thinking like a weird mix of like a beige and a green perhaps. Because he's supposed to look ugly, or at least somewhat. I'm kind of going for ugly cute. But, yeah, so we're going to start probably dry brushing some of this sort of pinky beige color that I have. And then we'll blend in some greens and some other colors. Actually, I might start with the lighter brown and then move to the beige, because that'll probably look better. The only unfortunate thing today is it is so hot and I have to turn the AC off in my room. So I'm going to be dying. I'm going to be roasting in a couple, like 30 minutes. But if I left the AC on or the fan on, it would interfere with the audio. So I shall just have to suffer for a little bit. But yeah, we're just going to do light brown and highlight the stuff. I appreciate you stopping by. I know I started a little bit earlier today because I have some other projects I need to get started on. But yeah, I like my new background. I'm pretty happy with this. It turned out pretty nicely. The only issue I'm having is the light reflects. So I'm trying to keep it in the corner a bit. Like that. Because I don't really have a way to make it not reflect off of this shiny clear mat that I have on top. Do a quick thin coat of this brown. And I think I will do the inside of the ears a much lighter peachy color, I think. I should also have a new microphone coming soon. I found a used one. I hunted down a used one on eBay so that I can hopefully have an even better microphone and I can do better reading of stuff and so on. I'm getting slowly better with the audio setup. It's still a bit of a enigma to me, but I'm learning. So hopefully that'll help too. And then hopefully the new microphone will have enough settings and efficient stuff on it that I can actually leave the AC unit on and not have to roast in my room every time I do this during the summer. I think it got up to 100 degrees today. But I think hopefully it won't continue. I think the heat over here is gonna stop. Like, I think it's gonna stop this week. I hope it does. My AC units are decent, my window ones, but the one in my bedroom, it's either old or just not keeping up very well. And I don't want to have to buy a new one. Okay. Almost done with this base coat. And I'm thinking we might blend the greenish tone into the legs a little bit. Because I did slightly different texture on those, so I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. And then we'll use the lighter yellow colors on all the little warts and moles that he has. Okay. All right, let's grab this green. Oh, and I was good, and I have my little palette here so that I'm not messing up my new backdrop. Because if I know myself, I will end up painting all over it. So I'm gonna try not to do that. Sort of blend this ugly green-brown color into the shoulder area a bit. Do each of the legs that way. That's kind of creating a nice effect. I do like that. I think that'll work. I wasn't sure. Because most of the pictures I've seen give it a very, like, my skin tone kind of color. But I think the mix of that and green will probably be decent. One of the things I learned with patterning colors on creatures like this is to mimic some of the patterns that I see in like cats and dogs. Because a lot of them will have like, I think it's called saddleback, where they'll have like a space right here that's a certain color, and then they'll have like patterns on the exterior of each of their legs. So whenever I color mythical creatures, I often will mimic cat and dog coat patterns. And it gives it kind of a more realistic look. So like I'm going to do a little bit of the green here. So almost like the saddleback pattern on dogs. I think it makes it look a little more realistic and kind of gives me a pattern to follow. And whenever I'm not sure how to pattern something, I'll look at that. There's also like rodent pattern colors for like rats and stuff. And guinea pigs, those can be helpful to follow for like fictional creature coloring. And colors on the stomach and underneath like the underbelly tend to be lighter. I don't know why, but they do always tend to be lighter on most creatures. Okay. A little more on the center of the back there. All right. Now we're going to use our beige color. It is getting hot in this room really quickly. And it's only been, the AC's only been off for like 20 minutes. Add some light colors here. Because we want the underbelly to be a lighter tone. I think I'll add some yellow to this as well. Oh, my orangey yellow color. Apricot. Okay, that's too bright, but we'll tone it down in a second here. That's way too bright. But that's okay, because I'll go back over it with the brown color, and that should mute it a little bit. Just a little on the cheeks and the nose. Of the eyes. I'll do this color on the side of the ears as well, and then we'll go over it with the lighter peach color. There we go. All right, and then the webbing. Yellowish tone on the webbing. Since only his left feet are webbed. Back to this peachy skin beige color. Okay. Grab a new brush. Layer the color a little bit. And most of my technique for he looks like a bread roll. He kind of does. He kind of does a little bit. Oh, are you like partially colorblind or something? Or no? Very much that. Okay. I know there's different varieties of colorblindness depending on which ones you can and can't see. Because I've seen like the filters where people explain what what it looks like. But yeah. Well, he's currently just lots of very muddy, earthy colors. Variety of achromatopsia. It doesn't color at all. Ooh, okay, okay. I don't think I've heard of that one before. I know a couple of the names. Um, I guess that makes it difficult to see certain types of artwork and such, where color is so important. In this case, he's just multiple variations of very muddy colors and dirt colors, but I'm curious what that looks like now. Okay, so it's like monochrome. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard of a couple of them because I've gone through like the different color blindness filters so I could see what it looked like. But yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, I would imagine I would find it frustrating, but then I don't know. I guess if you've had it your whole life, it would kind of seem normal to you. Because I know I have a lot of random health problems that just seem normal to me because I've always had them. Kind of a random question, but do you prefer like because I love monochrome type artwork and such a lot of times. Do you prefer monochrome type artwork? Is that easier to distinguish or no? Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Yes, that makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm especially fond of like old-timey movies and cartoons that are all monochrome and you have to work really hard with lighting to make sure it's distinct. I think you said you did some artwork as well. I imagine that would make it interesting too for you when you do your own stuff. Be a very interesting perspective. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you can still see like distinctions in shading and stuff, just not all the colors. I'm extremely fond of like black and white line art, filmography, and stuff, so. Alright, I gotta switch to a brighter color here. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Sometimes using more simplistic and limited options force you to be, I think, more creative in some ways, and you come up with some of the best artwork that way. You know? Whenever there's a limitation on one of the things I like to do with my little teddy bear paintings. I haven't done one in a long time for the channel, but when I do them, I tend to limit myself to like 3 colors, and I have to do everything with only those 3. And I think it creates a very interesting opportunity to focus on using those 3 things or those limited things very well. So it can, I'm sure it's frustrating, but it probably also has its advantages. Yeah, I've seen people do that intentionally with tablets where they put their tablet in grayscale and then they just start coloring and then they turn the color on. I always wanted to try that. I've never done it. It would certainly be interesting. Because if you get like the highlight, just the shading correct, you'd be surprised. You can use some pretty wild colors and it'll still look really good to everyone. So you can also pick certain some of the I know you can do like color wheel type stuff so that even if you can't see the distinctions, you can pick like um, a wheel of complementary colors, if so, and then just use those so that other people will at least see the complementary colors, even if you can't distinguish them as much. I'm not great on color theory. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be a very interesting experiment. Paint water. Not paint brushes. These paints keep drying out. I don't want them to be this thick. There we go. lighten his face up a bit. Do you have a favorite medium of artwork to watch typically, or do you just like a little bit of everything? Because I personally like a little bit of everything. I mostly do sculpting, but I dabble in everything and watch lots of different things. There we go. Lighten up the webbing just a little bit. There we go. All right, I need to do more of this on the back of the head. He does actually look a lot like a bread roll, to be honest. Okay. Oh, welcome back. I'm just slowly adding more highlights, more of this sort of skin tone to his face. Okay, I want to add a bit more here. There we go. Okay, I need to find a brighter pink color somewhere in this box. Not that. Yeah, I'll just grab it from up here. the inside of his ears in a more fleshy color, more fleshy pink. More warm tone. So do you have a favorite medium of artwork that you like? I know you said you use pen and drawing, but do you have the favorites to watch or anything like that? I think we may have had this conversation before, I don't remember. A little bit more orange, darker tone here. A bit of sort of warm color to the tips of the ears. Because for some reason, tips of ears always have more blood flowing through them and look a little bit pinkish. All right, let's go back to our brown. Fix some of the highlights that we've done. Oops, I did not mean to stick my arm in paint. There we go. I love animation. I'm always trying to learn how to do animations better. It's very time consuming though. As I have gained a great appreciation for animators the more I try to do it, the more I realize how complicated it is. It's a very challenging art. There we go. Smoothing out all the little wrinkles a bit with this color. Yeah, it looks a little more natural. Highlights the shading a bit more too. All right. It's reminding me a little bit of a frog with a pig face. Which kind of what I was going for. Rodrigo Guas. I don't think I've heard of him. I'll have to look that one up. What type of art does he do? Animation. Okay. I love animation. I'll have to Google his name here in a second. Yeah, I'm fond of a lot of the traditional like movie animators, like Don Bluth and stuff, but I also love some of the less traditional and I love like claymation and stuff. I really should get into claymation. It'd be fun. It's a lot of work though. And it takes a specific kind of clay, which I used to have, but I don't think I have it anymore. Okay. Let me Google him real quick. Because a lot of times I know some of these people and I just don't know their names, but I've seen their works. Rodrigo. What? Okay. I can't spell. G. Okay, director, yeah. Oh, cool. Very cool. I just came across some images of bits and pieces of it. It's very cool. I'll have to look them up in more detail later. But yeah, just from the images, they look pretty neat. I like a lot of animations that have. See, I have this weird thing. I used to say that I didn't like creepy or horror stuff, but then I found I do like it. I just don't like. I like creepy ambient kind of stuff. I don't like jump scare and cheap thrill type things. But there's a lot of creepy type stories and animations that I love. Oh, that's awesome. I like it when they have it accessible so I can watch it. Okay, I think we're finished highlighting all of his wrinkles. I think I'll do green tips on the ears. I think that'll look kind of cute. I was just thinking, I don't think I've ever done a sculpture that was painted in monochrome before. I've done artwork in monochrome. I don't think I've ever done a sculpture in monochrome. That'd be interesting. I might have to do that. Alright. Now I gotta figure out how I'm doing all of these little tiny molds. Here's this. We'll start with this yellow color. This one's turned into liquid. And then we'll gradually lighten these up. Start with the yellow and then grow lighter and lighter so that they're kind of highlighted. There we go. Let's do this one. On the back of the ears. Lots of little warts and moles, little bumps. It's our first color, but it's not bright enough, so we'll go brighter than that. To our this one to this one, they look almost identical on the camera, but they're not. They're much different in color. The only thing about this camera is it tends to wash things out a little bit too, which makes it harder to see. Adding highlights each one. I also have the resin because the Squonk canonically just walks around and cries all the time. So I have resin prepared to make resin looking tears from his eyes. Poor little guy. Just lighten up the tips of the feet here, contrast a bit more with the body. Getting there. Yeah, they dissolve in their own tears because they're so upset about the way they look. It's kind of the, I was trying to track down the book that it's in, The Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwood from Pennsylvania. I haven't yet, but I did find the online free version. But yes, they dissolve in their own tears half the time. So he's gonna have lots of tears running down his face as soon as I finish painting him here. Yeah, and I designed his little cheeks like this specifically to do that. So it'd be a little easier, hopefully, to add the resin for that. All right, we got to do another shade lighter on all these little bumps. I don't think I want to do a white. No, that's not right. Let's just try this. No, it needs to be white. Where's my white? Oh, there's my white. But apparently, yeah, when I was looking up the book, I think it's got almost 20 different little creatures little folklore creatures from that region. Most of which I'd never heard of. But yeah, it's got a lot of fun ones, so I might read through it and do some more of them. American folklore is always a little bit silly. There we go. All his little bumps. Our little Squonk. I wonder who came up with that name too, because the name itself sounds kind of silly, even though the little creature is so sad. Alright, let's see if we can clean off his eyes a little bit. Without damaging the paint on the sculpture. I might do the tiniest bit of a blush on his cheeks, just so it looks like the color or the blood's coming to his cheeks a little bit. I think that'll look decent. Just a tiny bit. It's not quite the color I want. This is also not the color I want. There we go, that's close enough. Just a little bit. There we go. Alright, that is his little face. All this his lovely little wrinkles all down his back. I do like the textured feel of this. It's very nice. Okay. Let me see. I need to get a little more off the eyes. Okay. Let me grab my resin. Let's see how well I can do this. Start with just the base of the eyes, and then I'll see if I can drip tears down his cheeks a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, I like the background because I think it contrasts a little better than the one I had before. Just trying to make it easier to see, and also it matches my bear's little heart patch. Okay, so we got that. Now let's see if I can do this without messing up. Just like him, like this. Here we go. We have tears on one side a little bit. Let's see if we can do this side. I might need something bigger to balance him off of. Lay him on this. I don't know if I can accomplish this, but I kind of want to have a tear hanging right here. I might be able to do it, I might not. Let's see. Sometimes this resin does not cure fast enough for effects that I would like to have. Nope, 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 don't do that. I can get it to come forward a little bit. That's kind of close. Not quite what I was going for, but... Okay. Just let it roll down naturally and I'll cure it slowly. That should probably have the best effect, I think. Okay. I might be able to do... Let me see. I need a piece of aluminum foil. Okay. See, if I cure the tear on this, I can probably add it to the statue afterward. Nope, that did not work. Oh wait. Hold on. I had to do that again. Not quite. Try with this. Yep, no problem. There we go. Almost finished. Add a little bit more to try to get that nice tear shape. Okay. And let me, I think I am going to do a tiny bit more paint. Yeah, I'm going to do a tiny bit of metallic shiny paint on the legs. So I really love my metallic paints. So I think that'll add just a tad bit more texture to this. Some nice shiny little highlights. I see I missed a little bump there. Oops. Oh, welcome back. We have one very shiny tear right there, running down his face, and then some over here. A little hard to see with the camera, but close enough. We're almost done. I just gotta add a little bit more shiny highlights here, and I realize I missed one of the bumps on his feet. So I have to paint that real quick. Okay. All right. This color. This color. Missed one. Single bump. Okay. And then the yellow. Then we need to add the tiniest bit of white. And then I think I will be pretty much done with this little guy. Okay. All right. I think I got all of them now. So yeah, we're done with this little guy. He does look very sad. Little tears running down his face. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I think I am pretty much done for tonight, but I will be back next week with more sculptures, and hopefully I'll be posting the Fresno Nightcrawler video sometime before Sunday. I could probably get the video done tomorrow, but yeah, and then we'll have the full lore and video on this little guy too. Yeah, he's just a sad little guy. I was trying to get the ugly but kind of cute in a sad way look, and I think I did it. But yeah, that's our little Squonk. So I'm going to be heading out for tonight, but thank you so much for hanging out with me, and to anyone who watches this later, I greatly appreciate it. Let me know if there's any other cool stuff you'd like to see me do, and hopefully I will sorry. Hopefully I will be back next week with something else cool. So, yep, I appreciate it. Have a lovely night.